All right. 16th of Adar Sheini. 16th, Hayom Yom. Okay. Avoider for the businessman. That's all of us. We all have business, right? Whether we have a profit making or not, or a business conventionally, we all have some business to take care of. So we're not Talmidei Chachamim sitting and learning all day. We're involved in the world. So avoida for the businessman includes arousing within himself emunah and betochen in the one who feeds and sustains all flesh. So just a short word. There's a lot said on this. There's a whole sefer from Choyves Chalavovis, that part of the mitzvahs of the heart, called the Tochen, whole book. But in brief, Amunah, the Rambam defines Amunah in his writings called Shmona Perakim, the eight Perakim, as the knowledge, the awareness that nothing can exist without Hashem, and that Hashem is involved in everything. That's Amunah. And trust is that he who is involved in everything is only out for my good and the good of everything. And therefore I trust that everything that happens is happening for the good. I do my part. Can't control the outcome. But whatever the outcome is, it's good because Hashem is good. Rach good, vet sein good. That's a betochenus kind of a statement. So everybody has to arouse within oneself both emunah and betochen in the one who feeds and sustains all flesh. I'm reading now back inside. That he, Hashem, will provide the person with an ample livelihood. In other words, you know the famous story of Zusha. The Rebbe sent someone to him to learn how to handle Yisurim, difficulties. And he went to Rab Zusha, and Zusha had nothing. No furniture. Everything was makeshift. And he asked him, "Why did you come?" Rab Zusha said, said, "Because the Rebbe sent me to learn from you about nisyonos, difficulties." And Rab Zusha said, "You can't learn anything from me. I don't have any pains. I don't have any tribulations. I don't have any problems. I don't have any nisyonos." Because everything he had, he knew, he was betach, had trust that this is exactly what he's supposed to have, and he didn't feel any negativity. So a person must be truly happy and cheerful as though all his livelihood were already in his hand. So that's the difference between emunah and betochen. Very briefly, emunah is knowledge, awareness that Hashem is running everything all the time. And betochen is that I trust that one who is running everything all the time, that everything that happens to me, that everything he gives to me is for my own good. And that makes me happy. That's betochen. Okay. So, with a little emunah, we're going to first have not only faith, but betochen, trust that the refuah shleimas we're about to hear will actually create complete healings. So who has refuah shleimas?
Elka Rachel Bas Elisa, Baruch Ben Yamin Ben Rachel Blima, Yehudis Golda Bas Elisa Hana, Hava Daniela Bas Naomi Hana, and Rachel Nahama Bas Sarah Shadab. Easy healing from her surgery.
Amen. Refuah shleima. Anybody else?
Tzviza Ev Ben Sprinza Refuah Shleima.
Refuah shleima. Okay, lessons in Tanya. Continuing our discussion of the result of doing mitzvahs. Page 494. So not only do mitzvahs connect us with Hashem, but since all of us are a part of a larger whole called Klal Yisrael, the source of that being, we didn't mention this, Malchus of Atzilus, the highest level of God's condensation of himself, so to speak, in what we call the Shekhinah. We're all rooted there. So therefore, every time each one of us does something that's a mitzvah, positive or negative, that contributes to the overall raising of everything, the overall nullification of the klippas and the revelation of godliness. That's what we've learned so far. And today, we're on page 94 in Likutei Amorim, page 94. From the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages in 94. So, since, beginning me'acher, since sheklalas nefesh achiyunis, since the whole generality of the animal soul, meaning all the power of the animal soul that's invested in all the animal souls that are animating all of us, since all of that, shebeklalas Yisrael, which is the enlivening root soul, root source of the souls of the entire Jewish people, Kedusha, when that state happens, as we spoke about yesterday, since each one of us is part of the whole and raising the up, as I said yesterday, the cliche, a rising tide raises all boats. So when all of us are doing that together, doing our part, in terms of bringing getting more traction in Kedusha, more of us all the time. So when all of us do that, we all become what's called a Merkavah Kedusha, a holy chariot, to Hashem. He's the driver, we're the vehicle, right? The vehicle, he guides the vehicle. Well, this is much, I mean, it's an interesting mashal. He is guiding the car. Think of us as a car, right? Hard to think of us as a cart because we're not in that age, but we're a car. We're the one who takes Hashem where he wants to go. He's guiding us where we want to go, but without us, he can't get there, right? So when all of us are responding to the guidance he's giving us, his nuances on the steering wheel and the accelerator and the brake, etc., when all of us are responding to that, then the whole chariot is going the way he wants to go, and Hashem is on a trajectory to be delivered where he wants to be delivered, which is down here below, that there should be the emergence of his glory down here below. That's called being a chariot to Kedusha. So when that happens, when all of us are doing that, then the entirety of the life force of this world, Shehi Klippas Noiga, which the life force of this world as it's manifest is under the dominion of Klippas Noga, as we've spoken many times, under the light Klippas. Things appear to be separate. Things appear to be not godly, but just the way they are. So then all of that perception of reality is raised to a new perception of reality. So all the Klippas Noga, which is now in existence, Akshav, Tedse Oz Metuma, Betumas, Bechaloisa, it emerges from and frees itself from its adhesion to Tuma, impurity, Bechalosa, and sickness, Refuah Shlema, right? When we do every mitzvah that we do, counts toward the wholeness, the curing, and the nullification of all sickness in all the worlds. That's what he's saying. When we all do that, the world and all the power that's invested in the world goes out from, the side of impurity and sickness, but ta'ala kedusha, and rises up to holiness. Liyes markova Hashem, and the world and all the power that's invested in the world, the godly power that's invested in this world, reveals itself as godly and conducts itself in such a way that it becomes a chariot, a vehicle for Hashem. Behisgalus kavoidai, so that he can reveal his glory down here below. And when that happens, a pasuk says, "V'rol kol bosor yachtor," all flesh will see with physical eyes his unity in everything. V'yafia aleihem behadar goyne uzay, and there will appear to them the splendor of his goyness, of his greatness, of his glory and his strength. V'yamala kavod Hashem es kol ha'oretz, and the glory of Hashem will fill the entire earth. Top of page Memches. Yisrael Yero'u, and all the Jewish people will see, ayin be'ayin, eye to eye, kibamatan Torah, just the way we did at Matan Torah when, if you remember when we started this, when we all had that vision. We all had, with fleshly eyes, saw the glory of Hashem. And so that will return. That will return, and we will have that perception once again, Matan Torah, as it was at Matan Torah, Kasiv, as it's written about Matan Torah, you were shown to know, meaning the knowledge wasn't just cerebral, the knowledge was visceral, with your eyes. Ki Hashem hu Elokim, and Hashem, the Yud Ke Vav Ke, the enlivening source of being, is what manifests itself in all the Elokim, in all the separate things that we see down here below. There was no separation whatsoever. I could take this plastic cup and see. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to meditate about it. I don't have to contemplate. I don't have to apply all the learning that I have. I can see godliness in it. That's the vision we had at Matan Torah, and that's the vision that Mamish, it will be restored to us, and we will see Ki Havayahu Elokim, Ein Oid, and that there is nothing else, Milvadoi, besides him. And through this, there will be swallowed up and nullified completely Kol HaSholosh Klippos HaTameos, all the three unclean clippers, because they're, like everything else, they are getting their life, their enlivenment, their vitality right now, like everything does, from Kedusha. Everything, because nothing can, Ein Od Milvado, there's always nothing besides him, but the appearance at lower levels is that there is something besides him, and there are not only something besides him, there are things which are in his face, so to speak, things which are against his will. All of that will be swallowed up, and all the klippos of Tameas, because they are Yinekasin v'Hiyusan v'Kedusha Achsha, because they're sucking now and perverting all of that into the negative side. Now, that's through Klippos Noiga. And Klippos Noiga will not exist in the time. There will be only the Hisgalus of Kedusha. But now, everything is going through Klippos Noiga, Hamamutsoyes B'neihem, which serves as an intermediary between them, between Kedusha and the Gimel Klippos of Tameas. That will end. Imheru Yomenu Mamish, and all the sick will be healed, and there will be Hisgalus of Elokus in the world, which we'll see with our fleshly, not just our contemplative eyes, our mind's eye, but with our fleshly eyes. That's today's Tanya. Reza?
I'm very excited looking at what we're learning today, because we say Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, and then we say Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuso La'olam Va'ed.
Yes.
And what we were learning today, these lines feel like they correspond, or it's like an enhanced explanation for those words. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuso La'olam Va'ed.
Explain.
That's
what you
okay.
mean.
So we say Baruch Shem, Hashem's name is blessed, but then we daven that the glory of his kingdom, Kavod Malchuso, should be everywhere throughout the world. Right. So how is this going to happen? It's going to happen through our mitzvos that will elevate Klalos Yisrael. That's and correct. Then the whole world, the Olam Vad, the whole world will be Elokus. It will be elevated to Kedusha. And the Malay Kvod Hashem as Kol Haaretz, that corresponds to Kvod Malchus Ola Olam Vad. The glory of Hashem will fill Eretz Yisrael, the whole world, actually, not just Eretz Yisrael, Kol Haaretz, and we will see. We will see this. The Baruch Shem Kavod Malchus Ola Olam Vad. We will see this. The Rebbe's statement, the Fleishiga Eugen. We'll see this literally.
Yes. Meaty, with eyes of flesh, not with eyes of just mind. Yep, that's it.
So we could like kind of, I don't know, we could take these lines and attempt to get to know them better. Because when you learn it once, it's, at least for me, at this time in my life, I'm not what I was able to do when I was 18. When you learn it once, it doesn't stay with you. But to relearn it so that you could include it in your Shema prayer would elevate the Shema prayer for me.
Right. Well, you have, and you will. And you're giving us a good teaching for what we're all going to do if we haven't davened yet. We'll have an opportunity this morning. Yeah. Anybody else? No. Okay. So then we'll leave you with this. We'll leave all of us with this. Baruch Shem Kaved Malchus Le'el. Baruch means to, of course, to be drawn down, to be brought down and visible. Baruch. May there be drawn down and made visible God's holy name, La'olam, which also means world, into this physical world. And we should see with eyes of flesh, roll kol basar yaktav, all of our flesh should see godliness in front of ourselves. Till tomorrow. Bye-bye.